so we are jumping back in to chapter 5 and finishing it up today. We were talking about hair at the end of class. I think we had this slide up, but we finished quickly on this slide. So when we're talking about hair and hair growth, the hair follicles go through a growth cycle. So different hair in your body has a different growth cycle time. So the hair on your head has a much longer growth cycle than like your eyebrow hairs. Okay, and that's why they can end up a lot longer, because they have longer to grow before they'll fall out and be replaced. Okay, but there's a continual cycle. Your hair grows out, and then it stops for a little bit, and then as the new hair is growing underneath it, it pushes the old hair out, and that's why you lose your hair. At least part of the reason why you lose your hair. Okay, how much hair you grow, how quickly it's replaced, are due a lot to nutrition and your hormones. And enhanced dermal blood flow, if you have more blood flow to the area, it can help your hair grow faster and better. So, some of the goals of hair growth drugs are to increase that blood supply in the scalp. Okay, new slide. Hair thinning and baldness. So hair growth slows after about 40 years of age for everybody. And so as we get older, our hair starts to thin out. And as a hair falls out, there's not another new hair coming in to replace it right then. So it's a delay between hair falling out and new hair growing. And so that leaves you with hair follicles that don't have hairs in them currently, which gives you a less full effect in the hair region. Okay, so that's the next one. They're not replaced as fast as they're shed. Other factors can affect thinning, and these are things that can shock your system. And most of these, though, can cause thinning, but then it can be repaired later. Like it's not thinning for forever. So an acute high fever, so your fever spikes really quickly for a short period of time, can affect hair growth. Severe emotional trauma can affect hair growth, can leave you patchy. Certain drugs, protein deficient diet, because we know that the hair cells are keratinized, and that is a protein. So if you lack protein in your diet, your hair won't grow as well. And the process of lactation can also cause hair growth issues. If you go bald, that's called alopecia. So there are some people who are born with a disorder called alopecia, and that means they don't produce any hair. So head hair, but also other body hair as well. So no eyebrows, no eyelashes, things like that. Some of you guys may know some people with alopecia. All right. So that's hair. Yes.
I have the answer to my question.
Oh, yes. Share. First,
So,
remind us what the question was.
I asked why hair grows bigger when you have a cast on it,
Yes.
and it's because hair grows bigger when you have friction, because it protects against friction, and so as a cast, like continually drops on it.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Very good. All right. Did you bring a written paper of that? Okay. Write it up for me. Make sure you have your sources of where you got it from, and bring it next class. Okay. All right. Very cool. Good to know. Okay. Nails are our next section. So we have one slide on nails. Okay. So they have a hard keratin, like hair. They come from, or the nail begins its growth back in the nail matrix, which is back here deep in the nail bed. Okay? So those cells are rapidly dividing, and they push the nail out. Yes? They can continue for a short period of time. They won't continue for forever.
Yeah.
Right, because the cells in the matrix will die. But there is a little bit of growth that'll occur after that, yeah. Okay, because those cells are dead anyway, so it's just pushing those cells further. Yeah. All right, so the nail matrix is where it sides and pushes forward. Most of what you see on your fingernails is that pinky color, and that's because you have a vascularized connective tissue underneath it. Okay, so you can see the red from the blood in there. But down at the back near the cuticle, you've got that little half moon shape, the lunule, and that is where the matrix is found still. Okay, so the matrix is thicker, and it prevents you from seeing the blood there in the connective tissue. Okay, and then nail folds. There's two lateral nail folds, and then there's a proximal nail fold, and it's just where your skin folds in around the nail. Okay. You good? No? Oh, the noise? It's the fan? Let's see if we can turn it off. Will any of y'all burn up if? Okay, it looks like all I have are lights up here. Look at this one. I will try and see. No, just lights. Sorry, guys. Do y'all see a switch anywhere? Like a physical switch? There's one back in the back. Somebody go flip back, see if it changes anything. I don't know what it does.
Is there one on the left?
Oh, no. Okay. Never mind. All right, sorry guys. Can't help you out. Unless somebody sees another switch. Okay. Functions of the integument. Why do we have an integument tree system? Why do we have skin? Not in there. Okay. Primary function of the integument is for protection. Okay, it protects the things underneath it. There's a couple ways that it protects. First is by providing a chemical barrier. So there are chemicals on your skin that prevent other things from getting in. So there's something called an acid mantle, where the chemicals on your skin have a slightly acidic pH, which provides an environment where bacteria do not grow as well. Okay, so we've got that acid mantle. Second is sebum. What glands produce sebum? Yeah, sebaceous glands. So there are chemicals in sebum that prevent bacterial growth. They're bactericidal. Okay? Defensin is a chemical that is produced by the cells of your skin. He does something really cool about it. He actually pokes holes in cell walls of bacteria. And once you have a hole in your cell wall, you just leak and you die. So your skin is producing defensin that will actually go out and kill bacteria. Okay, and then melanin is a chemical barrier to protect you from UV radiation. Okay, so those are chemicals that are produced on the surface. Okay, we also have an actual physical barrier that is preventing things from going in. So there's hardness there because of the keratin, and we also have waterproofing due to glycolipids that are also produced there in the epithelium. Okay, so we're preventing the water that's inside your body from getting out. And third, we have biological barriers. So these are the cells, those resident tissue cells that are living there that are looking for anything bad that's going to come in to kill it. Okay, so Langerhans cells are those specialized dendritic cells that live there. And there's also macrophages that will come and eat up the bacteria that get through a couple layers of that. Okay? Okay. So we've got protection. Second function is body temperature regulation. Okay? Keeps your body cool and keeps it warm when you need to. So sweat. If you sweat, it keeps you cool. Okay. Then second, we have dermal vessel constriction when cold. So you have this dermal vascular plexus made up of your arteries and veins there deep in dermis. and it constricts those blood vessels to close up when it's cold to keep the blood closer to the core, which prevents heat loss through the surface of the skin. And then when you're hot, you can dilate those. Blood comes through the dermis, and then heat can evaporate through the surface of your skin. Okay, third function of the integument system is cutaneous sensation, which is touch. You can feel things. Okay, so we have a couple different types of receptors. We have the Meissner's corpuscles and the Merkel discs. The Merkel discs, remember, were in that basal layer of your epidermis. The Meissner's corpuscles live up here in the papillary layer. And the Pacinian receptors, Pacinian corpuscles, live deeper in the dermis, so they pick up more deep pressure. We also have root hair plexuses that live there around the hair root so that you can feel the movement of the hair. And then finally, bare nerve endings. And bare nerve endings in your skin are going to pick up painful things. So they pick up pain and they pick up temperature, so hot and cold. And then Meissner's and Merkel's pick up touch. Okay? Three more. Yeah. Yeah, so it's just an accumulation of melanin. It's genetically determined, so some people are more likely to have freckles, some people are less likely to have freckles, and then you just have the melanocytes are overactive in that area, so they produce a little clump of melanin. We're going to talk a lot about freckles. Okay, some more functions of the integumentary system. We have some metabolic functions, so things that they produce. They produce vitamin D, which is really important for our calcium absorption. So vitamin D is one of the very few vitamins that we can actually produce on our own. We don't have to ingest it. Okay. Keratinocytes can also disarm cancer-causing chemicals, so they can take in the chemical and change its form where it's less dangerous. And skin also makes collagenase, and collagenase breaks down old collagen. So it's part of the repair and replacing functions that happen here in the integument. Okay, but the skin produces it itself. So it makes collagenase, helps break down some collagen, so new collagen fibers can be laid down. Okay, blood. The skin also functions as a blood reservoir. So there is a dermal vascular supply there in that dermal plexus. It contains about 5% of the body's total blood volume. Okay, that's a big chunk of your blood going to your skin. What's great about that is that when you are in times of danger, when you need to run away, and you need blood diverted to another area, you can take it from here. If you can divert blood away from the skin and send it to like your muscles or your heart or something like that you need it for. And then finally, excretion. Some nitrogenous wastes are excreted in your sweat. Also, lots of water and salt are removed that way. This isn't the primary way of getting rid of nitrogenous waste, that's through your kidneys, but you are able to get rid of some waste that way. Okay. Questions about the functions? All righty. Speaking of mold, let's talk a little bit about skin cancer. Okay, so this graph is from the United States in the year 2000, so it's a bit old, but we can still look at it and kind of see what's going on. But of the cancers that are highly reported, 90% of them are carcinomas. And carcinomas are specifically cancers of epithelial tissue. Okay, so 90% of all the cancers are in epithelial tissue. Okay? Does anybody know what happens in cancer? What is cancer? What happens to the cells? they rapidly divide. Okay, so these are cells that are just continually going through mitosis. So they start dividing and they never stop. And so you end up with this big clump of cells, which is called a tumor. Okay, so knowing what you know about epithelial tissue, why do you think that a lot of cancers are found in epithelial tissue? What's epithelial tissue able to do? Exactly. So epithelial tissue is already rapidly dividing, right? Because we're rapidly dividing to replace all those cells that have died and we need to replace them after they get shit off. So these cells are already going to mitosis pretty quickly. It's not going to take a whole lot of changes to get them to keep dividing and keep dividing without any checkpoints. Okay? So I added this to your slide. It's not part of it originally. But in males, the risk of developing cancer in any site is 1 in 2. That's some really big eyes right there. Okay? So that does not mean that you're going to die from cancer. That does not mean that it's going to be a severe cancer. But half of the guys in this room, statistically, will develop cancer at some point in their life. It's crazy, right? Okay? I won't read the risk of dying. We'll just go on to the girl. Girl, risk of developing is 1 in 3. Still pretty high. I mean, not quite as high as the guys. But 1 in every 3 of us will develop cancer at some point in our life. Okay? So risk of dying for guys is 1 in 4, and girls is 1 in 5. And yeah.
It says 1 in 4. Does that mean 1 in 4 people will get cancer, or
1 in 4 people will get cancer. Yeah. Right. So you're more likely to get cancer, but not every cancer is going to kill you. Oh, so the guys is 1 in 4, the girls is 1 in 5. That's still less. Yeah. All right. So what causes cancer? We know that the cancer is rapid mutation or rapid multiplication of these cells, but what causes them to divide rapidly? Okay. So multiple mutations are usually required to trigger cancer, and mutations are damages to that DNA. So we looked at the process of DNA replication, where you take a strand of DNA, you separate it, you match up the bases. I think somebody even asked, what happens if the wrong letter gets put in there? Okay? When your cells are dividing normally, you have mechanisms that go back through and can help see when the base is added wrong and replace it with the correct base. Okay? But what happens if you get a mutation in the gene that is a proofreader gene, or one of those proteins that's supposed to go back and check the DNA? If that starts getting messed up, you're not going to be able to go back and proofread your genes, and then mutations will just keep adding one on top of the other. Okay, so you have a rapid accumulation of mutations. Okay, that's why the cancer incidence risk raises as you get older, because you have more time to have accumulated those mutations. Okay? Now, when cancer begins to grow, you start as a benign tumor, and a benign tumor is just a grouping of cells that have been rapidly dividing, but they stay within their connective tissue barrier. Okay? So they're still sitting on that basal lamina and they have not gotten free. If cancer is caught at this stage and it's at an operable site, they go in, they remove it. You may have to have some chemo or radiation to make sure all of it's gone, but it hasn't metastasized and your chances are pretty good. Okay? When we have problems is when those cells start dividing so much that they push through the connective tissue. So they've broken past their basal lamina, and they're now growing into the connective tissue. epithelial tissue is not vascularized. It doesn't have a blood supply. But connective tissue is. So those cells that are broken free can get into the blood supply and be carried up to the lymphocytes throughout the body. And these cells are cells that rapidly divide. So when they get to a different organ, they leave the blood supply, enter that organ, and start growing there. And we call this metastasizing or metastasis. Okay, and that's when you have cancer growing in multiple locations throughout the body. Okay. Now, different cancers metastasize to different locations. So breast cancer usually metastasizes first to the bone. Different cancers have different places that they have together. One of the things they test for when they discover somebody has cancer is scanning the lymph nodes. And because the lymph nodes drain from that area and can carry cells away. So if the cells have broken through the basement membrane and are into the connective tissue, they'll be picked up into the lymph. And then if they end up in the lymph node, that means they have already broken free and can start moving from place to place. Okay? Questions? Okay. So, skin cancer. There is more than just one type of skin cancer. So we're going to talk about the differences between them real quickly. So the first one up there is basal cell carcinoma. He is the most common. If you have skin cancer, it's probably this guy. He is also the least malignant. So he's more likely to just stay in his spot, which is good. And he's a cancer of the stratum basale. So that one cell layer thick at the bottom of the epithelium starts to rapidly divide, and we end up with something that looks like this. So it's not the mole that we usually think of. It's going to be a raised area on the skin. Okay. Next is squamous cell carcinoma. It grows rapidly. It metastasizes pretty quickly. It's part of the stratum spinosum that has started to divide. And again, it's not the mole we think of. It's more of a red area, a red patch of skin. Now, the one you usually think of is melanoma. And melanoma is where we look at the moles and we use our ABCDE rule. Okay? Melanoma is the most dangerous. It's cancer of melanocytes. That's what gives it the dark color. And it metastasizes rapidly. Okay, so it can go from place to place. To tell if a mole is just a mole or melanoma, we can use our ABCDE rules, which are going to be on the next slide. So we look for these things. A is for asymmetry. So instead of being a nice circle, it's kind of lopsided. Okay? That's the asymmetry. B is border irregularity. So instead of having nice smooth borders, it's kind of got a fuzzy edge to it. C is color. Instead of being all one color, either dark brown or light brown, you have speckles of different colors mixed in. D is diameter. The spot is larger than 6 millimeters in diameter. And then some groups have an E as well. E can either be elevation, where it's bumped up above the skin surface, or evolution, but it changes over time, where you check it now, you check it a couple months later, and it doesn't look the same. Evolution. Okay? Yeah. So stage is determined by this guy right here. So how far are we? Are we still just in our one area? Have we metastasized? How far have we metastasized? Okay. Any other questions? Yeah. So these are things that they look for. You're going to want to have a couple of those to say, hey, this probably is melanoma, and then they'll do a biopsy where they actually look at the cells to see if they are or not. Yeah. I've never heard that as included in this group, but it may be that If your mold is not hit those, you're probably good. If your mold hits a couple of these, then that's okay. We're gonna look at it, and a dermatologist will tell you, hey, it's good. You're good. Okay, anything else? Okay, yeah. So when you have a benign tumor, it's just where you really feel the space that it's in, and so you start putting pressure on a lot of things, so you put the nerves and things that are in the area. Once it becomes malignant, it can spread out everywhere. And at least at the beginning of malignancy, there's going to be small spots in the location instead of big clumps that are pushing. That's the biggest difference. Obviously, the farther you go through malignancy, though, it will be painful. Okay, anything else? Guys, I want you to know, too, that when we talk about cancer, it is a scary thing, and it seems like there's not many breakthroughs happening. But this is an area where there is lots and lots of research going on currently. What the Nobel Prize is awarded this week was given to two guys who did immunotherapy, which is all about turning your body's own immune system back on so that it can go and kill cancer instead of bombarding them with lots of chemicals. So immunotherapy is a big deal right now. So things are changing. Things are going to happen. All right. So cancers. Next are burns. This is what your quiz was on last time. So you guys know this. Okay, burns are tissue damage and cell death due to heat or electricity or specific chemicals or UV radiation, so sunburns. Associated dangers, things you need to be aware of if you are burned. Dehydration. So remember that there are those glycolipids in the epithelial layer. If you get rid of the epithelial layer, you get rid of those glycolipids that are blocking the water from evaporating off. Okay, so if you go past that layer, the water can evaporate off through the surface, and you're going to lose a lot of water. Okay, cut along that same line is electrolyte imbalance. So keeping your salts and things balanced requires keeping water balanced. And then circulatory shock. If the water levels drop, your blood pressure drops as well, because your blood plasma is made up of a lot of water. Okay, and then you can go into shock, which is that. Okay, so a burn can be life-threatening if you lose a lot of body fluids. So loss of body fluids can lead to a renal shutdown. Your kidneys stop working. If your kidneys stop working because there's not enough water to flush out, then all those wastes are going to remain in your blood. Okay, they're not going to be washed out with the water. Circulatory shock, we talked about that. The blood pressure drops really low. And then infection, because your skin is a protecting layer as well. Okay? You guys know the rule of nines because you got a quiz on it, right? So each arm, complete arm is 9%. The whole head is 9%. The anterior trunk is 18. Posterior trunk is 18. And then the front of the legs are 9. The back of the legs are 9. So each front is 9, each back. Okay? And that's just an easy way to estimate the percent of damage. Okay, and then your degrees. First degree is only epidermis. Second degree is epidermis and the top of the dermis, you get some blistering. And third degree is epidermis, dermis, and hypodermis as well. Okay. When do you get a skin graft? Third degree. Okay. So first degree, you're going to be red and swollen. Second degree, you're going to have blisters. And third degree, the burn is gray, white, or black. Okay, critical burns. Burns are considered critical if over 25% of the body has second-degree burns, over 10% of the body has third-degree burns, or automatically if there are third-degree burns on the face, hands, or feet. Okay, because those are areas, if you burn your face, you're going to be obstructing the airway. If you're burning hands and feet, you're going to greatly limit that person's mobility and ability to do. Yeah. From sunburn? I've heard of second-degree burns from sunburn, but I've never heard of third-degree burns from sunburn. Have you heard of third-degree burns from sunburn? Uh-huh. Yeah. So if it hurts, it was a second-degree burn. Yeah. But when you get into third-degree burns, you're burning off enough of the nerves that it's not as bad. Okay. Skin infections. This is a beautiful slide. Isn't it just like your favorite slide you've seen so far? Athlete's foot. Okay, athlete's foot gets its name because it's faster out. Locker rooms, the showers, things like that. So this caused by a fungal infection, pitting a tennis, and the fungus lives and grows on your feet. Lovely, they eat you. Okay. Boils and carbuncles are caused by a bacterial infection, Staph aureus, Staphylococcus aureus, and they end up with these big sores on your skin. It's pretty nasty. Okay. And then cold sores found around your lips are caused by the virus herpes simplex virus. Okay. So we could be infected by fungus, bacteria, and viruses all in our skin. Okay. And all three of those are successful too. Okay. Contact dermatitis is an allergic reaction to something you touch. Okay, so poison ivy, you may be allergic to poison ivy, that's a contact dermatitis. You may be allergic to certain metals, that's a contact dermatitis. Okay. Impetigo is a bacterial infection as well that's transferred usually with children. You find it on the face, usually around the mouth. And it's because they touch things and then they don't wash their hands. And then they touch something and then your kid touches something and they touch their face and then it gets spread to their face. It's pretty gross. You can take antibiotics though. It'll take care of it. And then psoriasis. Psoriasis, the cause really is still unknown, but it seems to be some type of immunological and autoimmune type thing, because it can be triggered by trauma, infection, and stress, and it gives these patchy, scaly areas on your skin that are really, really itchy. And when you itch them, dry skin comes off. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, cold sores are herpes simplex, and herpes viruses, like chicken pox is another form of a herpes virus. They can lay dormant. So with chicken pox, you get it when you're young, and then the virus goes and hides away, and it goes and hides away in your nervous system, it hides away in your spinal cord, your brain. And then later, if something really stressful happens, or you see some other type of virus or bacteria in your body's fighting, a couple things can cause it. You get a flare-up again, which that second time is called shingles, which is bad and is really painful to older adults when they get it. Okay, so same thing can happen with cold sores. So it's a herpes virus. It goes and it hides away in your nervous system, and then when stressful events come, it can go back out and reinfect the tissue, and then go hide away again, and then come back out and go hide away again. So herpes viruses do not go away. They hide, and then they come back. And you can spread herpes viruses without having a flare-up. Okay? Okay. So eczema is its own little category of things that includes like the redness and the scaly skin and the really itchiness. And there's more of we know the cause of eczema. It's the mast cells that are in the skin that are doing it. So we that's a well-defined disease that we know what it does. Psoriasis is similar, but is missing some of the characteristics, and we aren't sure what causes it. So, yeah. You take some of the same treatments for both of them, anti-inflammatory creams and like cortisol and things like that, and they seem to help both, but they're not caused by the same thing. So it's a little bit different. There's a different mechanisms of what it's doing. Contact dermatitis, you're going to have to actually touch something, like poison ivy, and then that spot that touched it is going to be what? Becomes itchy. Hives are a full body reaction to something that could either be a death or a stressful event that would cause that immune response everywhere, not just in the area that whatever. All right. Yeah, all right. This last slide is not an objective, so here we go really, really fast. Ready? Okay, during development, you have different stages of your integument system. The epidermis forms from embryonic ectoderm. We talked about the layers earlier. The dermis and the hypodermis are from the mesoderm. By the end of your 4th month, all of your skin is formed. Okay, so right at the beginning of the 2nd trimester. At birth, your skin is covered by this thing called the vernix, which is produced by sebaceous glands. So it's just this covering of stuff that's all over the baby. One of the thoughts is that it's protection from the water-filled amniotic fluid, and it's kind of waxy and lipidy that protects the baby. During adolescence, your sebaceous glands are activated. And then when you're old, like me, and you're older than 30, then the epidermal cell replacement happens much slower. Your lubricating ability decreases, the elastic fiber clump, collagen fibers are fewer and stiffer, and your hair starts to thin. It's great. Okay. That means, though, we are now ready to talk about bones. Are y'all excited? Okay, how much? What have you done so far? So y'all have seen your bones. Have you done bone markings? Your bones, yes? Okay. So we're going to start with a general overview of the skeletal system and histology associated with the skeletal system. But then we will talk about those specific bones and those bone markings here in class as well, okay? So let's start first. The skeletal system is made up of both cartilage tissue and bone tissue, osseous tissue. Okay? So we're going to start with cartilage. So skeletal cartilage includes all 3 types of cartilage. We have hyaline cartilage, elastic cartilage, and fiber cartilage. But you guys know where all these are found already because you've had it, you know your tissues, right? So hyaline is most abundant. We have it in articulations, so in the joints, articular cartilage. Costal cartilage, where's that found? In your ribs, the little blue guy right here, costal cartilage. Respiratory cartilage, so that's around your trachea. And nasal cartilage up on your nose. Okay, then we have elastic cartilage in the external ear and the epiglottis. And fiber cartilage, remember, has lots of collagen fibers. So we are going to be in the knee meniscus, and we're going to be in the intervertebral disc. We want to be able to withstand a lot of impact. Okay? So, that is a review, though. You've already got that. You know where your cartilage are. Okay, how does cartilage grow? Cartilage grows in 2 ways. Apositional and interstitial. And to explain this, I have to draw a picture. I have to use my markers, and I'm pretty sure ink it. Okay. So if we look at some cartilage here, and we say, hey, there's a piece of cartilage. Okay. Apositional growth is going to be new cartilage deposited on the surface. Okay. So that's going to make the cartilage grow more around. Okay? So we can deposit just a on the outside of what cartilage you already have there. So that is apositional growth. Then we have interstitial growth. What does this prefix inter make you think of? Inside. Okay, so this is growing from the inside out. So it's going to be the cells that are here in the lacunae, in the cartilage. Okay. They are going to divide. So you get another little guy over here that produces new matrix, which will end up pushing the cartilage out from the inside. Okay? So apositional, you're just adding more around the outside layer. Interstitial, you're adding more in the middle that's pushing it outwards. Okay, and cartilage growth itself, just the growing and becoming an adult, ends during adolescence when the skeleton itself stops growing. Okay? So no more cartilage growth after that. There could be cartilage repair after that, but not cartilage growth. Okay, now on the bones. That's it. That's all we're talking about cartilage. Okay, on the bones, there are 206 named bones in the body. Are you ready for this? We don't make you know all 206 bones. It's close. It's close, but it's not all of them. Okay, so we've got 206 named bones. We can classify them first by whether you're axial or appendicular. What region of the skeleton are they found in? So the axial skeleton is the long axis of the body. It includes the skull, the vertebral column, and the rib cage. That's it, those three. And their job is to protect the organs underneath them, to support and carry that, your body. That means that everything else is appendicular skeleton. They're the appendixes. Appendages is what I meant to say, not appendixes, so it makes you sense. Okay, so the appendicular skeleton includes the bones of your upper limbs, the bones of your bottom limbs, and the girdles. So, the pectoral girdle is where your shoulder is, where you're attaching the arm to the body, and your pelvic girdle is down here, where your legs attach to your body. So your hips and your shoulders are included as well. Okay? Its job is to attach the limbs and for locomotion and manipulating the environment. Okay, we can also classify bones though according to their shape. Okay, these are really easy. Ready? We've got long bones. They're long. There's a shaft and two ends. Okay, those include the bones of the limbs, except the patella and the bones that are here in the wrist and ankle. So your femur, your humerus, all those. And then we have short bones. They are short and cube-shaped, which make up the wrists and the ankles, so your carpals and your tarsals. Okay, and they look more like squares. A sesamoid bone is a specific type of bone that goes into this category. They're little sesame seed shaped, so little circular bones that grow in a tendon, and they help change the direction of pull in the tendon. Now, because these grow into tendons, not everybody's sesamoid bones are exactly the same, so they vary in number and in shape in each individual. Okay, so those are short bones. Then we have flat bones. Guess what? They're flat. Okay, so skull bones are flat. Your scapula are flat. The ribs and your sternum are flat bones. And then everything else is considered an irregular bone. So irregular bones have complicated shapes, like your vertebrae, like they're little circles with a wing off the back. Or your hip bones. Those are also irregular. Okay. So make sure you can classify the bones in your bone list. as being either long, short, flat, or irregular. Okay? Okay, why do we have bones? We have bones to support, to hold us up straight. We have bones for protection, to protect organs underneath them. Think specifically of like your skull, to protect your brain underneath it, or your rib cage, to protect your lungs and your heart. It allows for movement. It gives the muscles something to act on. They have to have something to move. Mineral storage, calcium and phosphate specifically, but there's lots of other minerals that are stored there in the bones. So we send minerals to the bones, but then we can also take minerals out if we need them. And finally, blood cell formation or hematopoiesis. We make our blood cells stand in our red blood cells. All right, 5 more minutes. So we can catch up with other classes. Okay, bone markings. If you have talked about bone markings in lab, you know that these are the most wonderful things on bones, right? Knowing all the little dips and the bumps, it's great. Okay, so they have functional importance. There's a reason why that bone is shaped the way it is. Okay, so there are places for muscle and ligaments to attach. If you see like a little bump, there's probably something that attaches there. They help form joints, so they allow two bones to rub close to each other. Depressions, so dents and openings, allow blood vessels and nerves to pass through the bone. Okay, so again, super important. There's a reason why we have the bone markings we have. Okay? In your notes, when you printed out the PowerPoint, it said C table 6.1. That was from the old edition. It's now 6.2. Okay? So, that table, 6.2, is other bone markings. You can read through here and it will tell you what each of these mean. So a tuberosity is a large rounded projection. It may be roughened, but an epicondyle is a raised area at or above a condyle. Okay? So the names mean things. So when you're on your lab practical and you're trying to remember what the name of that bone marking is, if you know that a line is a narrow ridge of the bone, and hey, that's a narrow ridge, I can at least guess that it's a line of some sort. Right? Right. Okay, so these could be helpful as you are learning your bone marking. Okay. We don't have time to do this in class, but let me explain the assignment, and it will be due when you come to class on Friday. Okay? You can do this with a partner. Doesn't need to do that alone. But what I want you to do is find one example from your master list of bones of 5 different bone markings. Okay? You can choose whichever 5 bone markings you want to do. You can do an epicondyle and a line and a protuberance and a crest and a fossa. Those can be your 5. It can be whatever 5 you want them to be. Okay? So choose 5 different bone markings, and then choose 5 bone markings from the list that match it. Okay? So if you're choosing a foramen, okay? A foramen from your bone marking list is hopefully foramen magnum, right? You have to know that one? I hope so. It's the big hole in the head, okay? So on your chart, on your sheet, you would put foramen magnum, because that's your example. And then, what is it there for? What's the function? See, what comes out the foramen magnum? The spinal cord goes through that hole. Okay? The spinal cord goes through the hole. So do that for 5 different bone markings. Okay? And bring that with you to class on Friday. Nope. Just what's the bone marking? What's the specific bone marking? And why is it there? All right, guys, I still have 3 minutes. Okay, because I wanted to get to this slide so that we would be at the same place as the other classes. Okay, we're caught up now. Okay. So a typical long bone is made up of both a shaft and the ends, so the diaphysis and the epiphysis. The The diaphysis forms the long axis. It's the long part of the bone right here. So that's the diaphysis. The epiphyses are on the end. The diaphysis is made up of a collar of compact bone that surrounds yellow bone marrow in the middle. So the sides are compact bone. This is thick, but then there's a hollow middle. And that hollow middle is made up of yellow bone marrow. Okay? On the outside, covering the bone, is a double-layered periosteum membrane. Okay, so periosteum is on the whole outside. And then any internal surface, so inside this medullary cavity, inside the hole in the middle, is going to be covered by endosteum, okay, which is another connective tissue layer, and it covers the inside of that long bone. Okay, and then epiphyses, the end, again has a compact bone exterior, so strong and solid, and then a spongy bone interior. You can see from the picture, the spongy bone has these little, lots of holes throughout it. Okay, it looks like a sponge. And the ends, the epiphyseal ends, are covered in articular cartilage. So hyaline cartilage is a type of cartilage, and it's going to cover the ends where they articulate with another bone. All right, now we are finished. And we are caught up, and we are good.